All right, y'all, welcome to the show. Holy shit, am I fired up and ready to go today? There is a lot to get to. The elephant in the room, the huge story is that, yet again, we were betrayed by Democratic leadership. Chuck Schumer betrayed us, absolutely humiliated himself and the country and his party, and bent the knee to Trump in the most embarrassing way possible. So I'm going to talk about that in just a second. Here's how jam-packed today's show is. I don't even have time to fit in the stuff that just happened, namely, Trump bombed another 2 boats of innocent fishermen. That's great. I've literally lost count of the number of innocent fishermen he's murdered in cold blood. He's done terror attacks against. So that's going on. I think the death count is now above 60 people or something like that. We also have Trump hiding his pardons of 79 coup plotters, the January 6th coup plotters. He hid his pardons behind the terrible news about Democrats caving. So this is, we're talking about evil genius, 3-dimensional chess here is what we're looking at. He knew, the media is going to be talking about how Chuck Schumer is a bitch. And immediately in the aftermath, I'm not kidding, like 10 to 30 minutes after Chuck Schumer caved, that's when this story dropped. And it's all, the worst of the worst. It's Sidney Powell, it's Rudy Giuliani, it's Kenneth Cheeseborough, as we call him, even though you pronounce it Chesborough. These are the people who, on a daily basis, were conspiring to commit a crime and end democracy in this country. And even that, I don't have a segment for because we are so packed. So, needless to say, a lot to get to. We'll talk about the ultimate betrayal. We'll talk about Trump getting booed loudly at a Commanders game at the same time that air travel in this country has now completely collapsed. It's completely collapsed. We now have some airports that are doing total ground stops. Basically, like the airports are shut down in certain places because with the government being shut and with air traffic controllers resigning by the day, they just don't have enough people to make an airport function. So we'll talk about that. We also have Trump engaging in a billionaire feast at the same time that American children starve from SNAP cuts. That's difficult to look at. Literal bread lines at the same time that Mar-a-Lago is watching like synchronized swimming and having these this big seafood feast where there's a massive seafood platter that everybody can enjoy. And then later on also we have Ben Shapiro is now engaged in self-immolation in this nuclear MAGA civil war. And it is quite a thing to behold, bro. I know he thinks he's nailing it. I know he thinks he's throwing some haymakers at Tucker Carlson and Nick Fuentes. But as an outsider, let me just tell you, this shit is not working, dog. I'm sorry, they're the bigger ones. They are the, bigger portion of the Republican base, the Republican electorate. They're the bigger portion of young right-wingers online. And you, homie, are just looking kind of washed at the moment. But we'll get into everything about that right-wing civil war. So without any further ado, we'll jump into it in just a second. By the way, you guys know the drill. Everybody please subscribe to the channel. Support the show on Patreon. Remember, this is real independent media. I've never talked to an advertiser, done an ad read, or talked to a billionaire or a PAC or a government or anything like that. You guys support this show from the ground up, and I'm very thankful for it. You could also tip with that thanks button on YouTube, which is just below me here. And support Crystal, Kyle, and Friends on Substack. You can sign up below. And go subscribe to the Corn's World YouTube channel. We have live Kyle and Corn episodes every Monday night, and that will be happening tonight. So come hang out with us. Come join us. It is an awesome time. All right, guys, let's jump right into it. So let's start with this. As you all know, we were on day number, I believe it's 38 or something like that, of the government shutdown. You had the Republicans needed a decent number of Democratic votes, 8 Democratic votes, in order to get the government to reopen. So that means the Democrats have this little thing we like to call leverage. Oh, you need our votes to open the government? Okay, here are our demands. Right? Very simple. Very simple. And in fact, anytime there's a government shutdown in the other direction, it is Democrats who end up, putting some policies in there that Republicans want. Because Republicans realize, hey, we have leverage in this instance. But now that it's Democrats who have demands, well, I'll give you one guess what happened. We got Dickie McGee's axe. We got absolutely nothing. They're making a big deal out of the fact that, some of the people that Trump illegally fired, he's now gonna bring back. Oh my goodness. You absolute warriors, you. What an amazing concession you got. Are you kidding me? Well, also, we're getting a promise on a vote in December to extend the ACA healthcare subsidies. So in layman's terms, that is not going to pass. And now health insurance premiums are going to skyrocket for Americans, doubling, tripling, quadrupling, and in some cases, more than that. Right now was when Democrats had the leverage to force the Obamacare subsidies into the bill. Right now. If they need your votes, and they do, well, I'm sorry, you have all the power. So you could have said the Obamacare subsidies go in full, or you don't get any of our votes. But they didn't say that. Why? Because Chuck Schumer betrayed us. Chuck Schumer stabbed the entire country in the fucking back. The craziest part is, guys, they were fucking plummeting in the polls. Trump is down at 37%. The Republicans are getting fucking obliterated right now. The election that just happened was a goddamn landslide. The message was clear. You have to fight these people. We literally had them exactly where we wanted them. If you're a Democratic leader, you know what you do? Literally fucking nothing. You don't pick up the phone. You don't call anybody. You don't text anybody. You don't have to talk to your Republican colleagues. You do fucking nothing. And another week or two of this shutdown, they absolutely would have came to you on their hands and knees begging for your votes, and then you can get exactly what you want out of it. Now, by the way, even in a scenario where they don't come to you, well, what happens then? Well, then they would decide, we're going to nuke the filibuster. In fact, they probably told Chuck Schumer, we're going to nuke the filibuster if you don't vote for this now. And so that's probably why he bent the knee. But here's the thing, guys. If you let them nuke the filibuster, that's a win for you as well. Why? Because then, Republicans, it's all out there. It's all in the open. Everybody knows they own absolutely everything from now until the end of time. And so when the country completely hits a fucking brick wall, when everything collapses as it already has started to do, you go, okay, well, who do you think is to blame for that? It's the Republicans. And then when Democrats get in power and there's no more filibuster, then we can do whatever the fuck we want to do. We can actually fix this country. We can fix this country. But guess what? I don't think they want to actually do that. They don't. In fact, all the Democratic leaders are institutionalists. So they support the filibuster. They like the filibuster. They love the excuse, so they don't have to fucking do anything. They don't need to do real change as the country fucking falls apart. Well, we need Democrats who are going to support real change that actually improves people's lives. All right, so ready? Here are the total sellouts. You have Tim Kaine, Dick Durbin, who's the minority whip, by the way, so he's like Schumer's number 2 in command. Fetterman, of course, he voted for every attempt to reopen the government. Senator Jeanne Shaheen, Senator Maggie Hassan, Senator Angus King, Senator Cortez Masco, and Senator Jackie Rosen. Now, what I will say is this. Number 1, these people should all be gone. But number 2, understand this is just the rotating villain thing. That's all this is. What happened was Chuck Schumer said, all right, who's either retiring or not up for an election until 2028 or 2030? And those are the ones who are biting the bullet. Those are the ones who are voting the wrong way. Think about how incredible that is. They made it so, they'll forget by 2028, they'll forget by 2030, or this person's retiring. That's what's happening here. And so it is really, really dark and disturbing just how planned out this was. In fact, Chuck Schumer is literally playing make-believe, as we'll talk about in just a second. But before we get to that, here's Angus King explaining himself on MSNBC on Morning Joe. And honestly, this alone, not only should he resign, he should be fucking tarred and feathered. He needs to resign in shame, in disgrace. He needs to apologize as he fucking resigns, because this is the saddest, most pathetic thing I think I've ever seen in politics, and I've seen a lot of fucking stuff in politics. You're not going to believe what he says here. Watch this.
Well, Joe, you have to go back to what the strategy was at the beginning of the shutdown. There were 2 goals, both of which I support. One was standing up to Donald Trump. The other was getting some resolution on the ACA premium tax credit issue. The problem was the shutdown wasn't accomplishing either goals, and there was there was zero likelihood that it was going to.
Notice the pontificating. Notice how he's fallen for the myth of the Teflon Republicans. Bro, they need our votes. They need our votes. It's not a question. It's not an if. They need it. And so you have all the fucking cards.
In terms of standing up to Donald Trump, the shutdown actually gave him more power.
He was already doing all these illegal cuts that he's doing. He was already doing before the fucking shutdown, you piece of shit. Remember Doge? Remember Elon Musk illegally cutting pediatric cancer research and Meals on Wheels? They were already doing it illegally. So now you can't say, the government shut down, and so he's doing more of that. He was already doing it. So maybe it's on fucking him. It's on him. They own the shutdown. They own all the cuts, unless your dumbasses rush to fucking save them.
Oh, by the way, Joe, you're going to love this. Guess who's getting paid during the shutdown? Not the park rangers or air traffic controllers, the ICE agents. Under special law, under that big, awful bill that they passed last summer, the ICE agents are being paid. Nobody else is. So standing up to Donald Trump didn't work. It actually gave him more power.
He said, and I quote, standing up to Donald Trump didn't work. You wouldn't fucking know, because you've never fucking done it. What was the point of all this? By the way, if the deal was going to be this pathetic, this weak, this much of a loser deal for you, why did the shutdown last nearly 40 days? Why did it last 40 days? You could have gotten a deal like this within the first week, because this deal is dick. This deal is nothing. A promise of a vote on the ACA subsidies that's going to get fucking torpedoed and not fucking pass, meaning premiums are going to skyrocket. You could have had this deal within the first week. What was the point of putting the country through 40 fucking days of immense pain, all these poor government workers fucking laid off and furloughed and not getting paid? What was the point if you weren't going to actually extract victories? If you weren't going to protect the American people from their fucking premium skyrocket? Fighting Donald Trump didn't work. You would know. You've never actually done it. You've never actually done it. Oh my God, Jesus Christ. If I was running this party, it would be run so fucking differently. We need new leadership, bro. It's like, this is not even a debate anymore. It's not even a question anymore. And by the way, everybody is starting to realize it. I mean, people are late to the party. We've been singing this tune for a long time, but I'll fucking take it. I'll wait until you see the group of people that are all now saying the right things on this. Okay, so here's Bernie Sanders. Bernie Sanders is basically laying out how this is an atrocious betrayal.
What this Senate is about to do is make a horrific situation even worse. So let's be clear what this vote is about. If this vote succeeds, over 20 million Americans are going to see at least a doubling in their premiums in the Affordable Care Act. In my state of Vermont and throughout this country, for certain groups of people, it will be a tripling and a quadrupling of their premiums. There are people who will now be paying 50% of their limited incomes for health care. Does anybody in the world think that makes sense? And if this resolution is passed tonight, we are on a pathway to throw 15 million Americans off of Medicaid and the Affordable Care Act. 15 million. Our job is to create universal health care, guarantee health care to every man, woman, and child, not throw 15 million people off the health care they have, low income and working class people. And my friends, know what you are voting on. Studies are out there that when you throw 15 million people off of health care, some 50,000 of our fellow Americans will die unnecessarily every single year. Anyone think that's funny? Something to laugh at? Something to just go past? I don't. 50,000 Americans die unnecessarily.
So he's very clear on this. There are actual stakes to what the Democrats are doing. Look at this. So they asked Schumer when he's walking in the hallway, and Schumer says, I'm voting no on this. You are the Democratic leader. You facilitated this deal. And now you're pretending like you're not to save face. And so as Ken Klibenstein points out, Schumer voting no for a shutdown deal, he facilitated every step of the way, just trying to keep his hands clean. Don't fall for it. As I told you, it's not a coincidence. All the Democrats who voted to reopen the government, they're either retiring or running in 2028 or 2030. They're betting you won't fucking remember this. They're betting you won't be angry by 2028 or 2030. That's what they're betting. This is the rotating villain thing. That's exactly what we're witnessing. Okay, ready? Scoop. Schumer was more involved than reported with the attempted cave on the government shutdown. Oh, you don't say. The gang of 8 Senate Democrats had his approval, and he was getting daily updates. The cave almost happened Thursday after the election. Are you fucking mental? These guys got to go, bro. These guys, they're not Democrat. This isn't even, you're not a Democrat. You're not a Democrat. You are Diet MAGA. That's what you are. Now, those fucking millions of people who are going to lose their health insurance and the 50,000 that will die as a result of that, the blood is on your hands, Chuck Schumer. The blood is on your hands to all the Democrats who fucking voted for it or who partook in the negotiations to get this bullshit deal through. You give them everything they want. And for what? For what? Again, they needed you. It's not a question. They needed your votes. They had to give you something. And you got nothing. Well, as you pretend like you got something. It's unbelievable. It's truly unbelievable. Ready? So right now, Chuck Schumer's approval rating is already 29%. It's already 29%. How does it feel to be nearly 10 points lower than fucking Donald Trump, Chuck Schumer? How does that feel? AOC, paging AOC, time to run against this sorry son of a bitch. I was on Twitter yesterday calling him Cuck Schumer. Because that's what he is. He's got a humiliation fetish, clearly. Ro Khanna is out there now. What does Ro Khanna say? Senator Schumer is no longer effective and should be replaced. If you can't lead the fight to stop healthcare premiums from skyrocketing for Americans, what will you fight for? That's exactly right. He'll fight for nothing. Actually, what Chuck Schumer will fight for is Israel. That's what he'll fight for. He literally said, my job is to keep the left wing pro-Israel. That's what he said. Well, guess what, fella? You fucking failed at that too. Why? Because they're doing a genocide. If you can't flip your own position over genocide and say, you know what, I'm opposed to this, as, what was it, Ta-Nehisi Coates said, why do you think the people who will cave on genocide will stand up and fight for democracy? No, if they'll cave on genocide, they'll fucking cave on democracy too. This is, the thing that makes this one even worse than the others is that Democrats held absolutely all of the cards. And they either didn't know that they did or they didn't care that they did. They held all the cards. They held all of the fucking cards. The country was blaming Trump. The country was blaming Republicans. The fucking election was a landslide. The American people said, yes, fight. You got to fucking stand up. And what does he do? The exact opposite. All right, more. Even on MSNBC, they are tearing into Chuck Schumer and saying this is unacceptable.
This idea of left or right or more progressive on ACA subsidies, almost 80% of Americans want the subsidies to continue. That's not left or right. That's right and wrong. Almost 60% of Republicans want the ACA subsidies to continue. Chuck Schumer should have negotiated a better deal. He should have been in the public more. He's not a bad guy. Any stretch. He's just not the right person at the right time. We're going through a different time. You're dealing with a GOP that's an anti-democratic movement. They don't care what the American people think on an issue like this. So I think, honestly, this is the end of Chuck Schumer as we go forward.
This is MSNBC. We're in a new era. The Democratic Tea Party, as somebody said on Twitter yesterday, just got a shot of steroids in the ass. That's what happened with the Democratic Tea Party. Actually, I don't know. Is that how you put steroids in? Do you inject it in your ass? I'm not sure. All right, more. Fresh off caving, Senator Jeanne Shaheen is going on Fox and Friends. Tell me again that the corporate centrists aren't diet MAGA. They're not MAGA light. What, you want a fucking pat on the head from Brian Kilmeade's dipshit idiot self? Is that what you want? Oh my God. How sad. What a loser. I'm sorry. These corporate centrist Democrats, they're just not fit for this current political bar fight that the country's in. I mean, look at this woman. She's like a fucking school principal, right? She's like a grandma. And she's going to fucking stare down Donald Trump. You don't have the juice. You don't have it. You don't even realize, again, you held all the fucking cards and you caved. You caved for nothing. For nothing. All right, ready? Here's Cortez Masto, and this will make you want to jump out of a window. Ready? Here we go.
This fight tonight is, I agree with Senator Angus, is just the beginning. That's
a lie. That's a lie, and she knows that's a lie. This is the only time you have the leverage to get those Obamacare subsidies through. A promise on a vote in fucking December, it's just going to get voted down, if they even allow it up. Because they asked what's-his-face, Grinder Mike Johnson, if he's going to allow the vote up. He fucking walked out of the room. He didn't even say anything. So they're either not going to allow the vote, or if they do allow the vote, you're going to lose, right? And so, what do you mean this is just the beginning? This is not the fucking beginning. Right now is when you had all of the fucking leverage and you caved. You caved like little fucking bitches you are.
The beginning to show and fight for Americans across the country. Let me just say this. With the government open, we can focus on passing a full bipartisan budget for 2026 that starts with a minibus that will restore funding that President Trump cut.
That's a lie. It's not going to happen. You don't have leverage anymore. Now you have leverage and you gave it away.
It delivers millions of dollars in critical funding to states like Nevada, all across the country. And you will hear, blocks the administration from future rifts. We have an opportunity also to put...
See, that's what they say is their big win, right? Is, oh, we're reversing some of the rifts. We're reversing some of the people who were fired. Those people were already illegally fired. You're like, oh, we're getting back to what it should have been all along. And you think that's a W? Oh, God damn it. God damn it. I will take literally anybody in the country over this gaggle of total losers leading the Democratic Party.
Republicans on the record on the ACA, do they really, are they...
This was the time to get them on the record. Oh my God. I'm going to have an aneurysm. I'm going to stroke out. I'm going to stroke out on fucking air. This was the time to get them on the record, because now is when you have all the fucking leverage. And guess what? You don't need to guess what their position is on fucking Obamacare. Didn't they try to repeal it 70 goddamn times? More than that? In the big bullshit bill that they just passed, they just cut off the Obamacare subsidies. And now you're like, well, we're going to get them on the record. They're already on the record. And this was the only time you had leverage to actually get them to fucking cave. Jesus Christ. Do we need to explain the most basic shit to these fucking idiots? You go into the negotiation and you say, we need 10 years of full Obamacare subsidies or none of us are voting for it. And then you fucking stand 10 toes down, puff your chest out, stand on business on that position, and you fucking say, I'm not accepting your phone calls until you agree to that fucking condition. And if you don't, blow me. Suck my nuts from the back. I'm going to go play golf. As fucking Trump is doing the same goddamn thing. Because he's the one who's actually at fault for this. So when you guys want to fucking man up and wise up, then you call me, but you got to accept that condition. And then eventually, what happens? Eventually, they come to you and they say, well, we're not willing to do that, but we'll give you 3 years on the fucking Obamacare subsidies extend. That's what happens. But if you don't know how to negotiate, if you don't know how to play politics, if you don't know how to play hardball, go pick a different field. What are you doing in this field?
Leader Thune said he would come to the table on a health care once the government was open, and now
he lied to you, you fucking idiot.
Follow through. If Republicans want to join us in lowering costs for working families, they have the perfect opportunity to show the American public.
They don't. They don't. We know they don't. That's why they tried to repeal Obamacare a zillion fucking times. That's why they voted in the big bullshit bill to get rid of those subsidies. And that's why now they're not voting for it. And instead of coming out there and telling the truth and saying, these motherfuckers they are shutting down the government so that they can raise your fucking healthcare premiums, double, triple, and quadruple. Instead of doing that, you're doing the whole, well, gosh, golly, maybe we'll give them one more chance. What is this? This isn't politics. You should fucking tattoo on your forehead, fell for it again. Okay, ready for this? Hell is frozen over because there actually is agreement between every single person who's not in Democratic leadership, every left of center voter. The House Democrats are furious. The House Democrats are going, what the fuck is this? Okay, ready? So Matt Iglesias says this. The subtext of this whole fight is the filibuster. Dems were winning the blame game and could have held out indefinitely, but they weren't going to win adequate policy concessions from Trump. Eventually, ours would have been forced to nuke the filibuster. Fine by me, but many senators disagree. I believe that's exactly what happened. So what happened is, I'm sure, Schumer was getting a phone call, and he was told, if you don't take this deal, the one that they ended up voting for, we are going to nuke the filibuster, and we will only need 51 votes to pass whatever we want. But if Chuck Schumer was intelligent and a good leader and actually wanted to make change in the right direction, he would have said, bet, nuke the filibuster, bitch. Because like I said, then they do it, they'll own everything that happens as they already do, but it'll be even worse because it'll be very clear to the American public what's going on here. They'll own everything about their destruction of the country, right? And then when Democrats take back power, as they will in a generational wave, then you can actually get shit done. Medicare for all, free college, a living wage, ending the wars, a Green New Deal. Fucking anything we want, we can get done. Eliminate medical debt, eliminate student loan debt. Any 51 votes, oh, get the fuck out of here. We're going to have like 59 senators, right? And even with the mansions and the cinemas and the asshole centrists, we'll still have fucking 52, 53 votes in favor of all the good things. But see, that's the thing, guys, is Chuck Schumer doesn't actually want the same things you want and I want because he's diet MAGA. He's not a real left of center voter. He's not even a Democrat. Never mind a liberal, never mind a leftist. He's a fake Democrat. He's a dino. That's what he is. That's why he caved on this. Do you understand yet? Do you see what's going on yet? You know, all this stuff about voters see Democrats as weak and that's why they don't like them. Well, who's weak in the party? Who's weak? It's fucking Chuck Schumer. It's Democratic leadership. It's all the corporate centrists who are just diet MAGA. All right, here we go, more. Jonathan Chait, another centrist liberal. He says, shutdowns always fail because the opposition party gets blamed. That didn't happen this time, but Democrats gave up anyway. That is exactly right. Every single poll showed, guess who was more to blame? It is the Republicans. It is Trump. Every single poll showed that. And you crushed in the fucking election, right? And so literally all of the cards were there. And guess what? The other devastating thing about this is the fucking precedent that's set. The precedent. Apparently Trump early on thought, oh, they'll cave before a week. And then they didn't. And so the message was being sent, oh, wait, they'll actually fight over some shit. They'll actually throw down. Well, now the message is resent. They'll always fucking cave. And so now Trump knows he doesn't have to take you seriously. There's no taking you seriously. You're a joke. You're pathetic. You're a loser. Why would they give you fucking anything if you can't fight for it? I can't with these people, bro. I really can't. They've gotten every single thing dead fucking wrong, and it is time for that Democratic Tea Party. I will personally bust my ass to get these losers out of the way. AOC should fucking take Chuck Schumer's seat in the Senate. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. By the way, you should call every single fucking sellout Democrat who did this, you should call their office and let them know how you feel about it. You should call Chuck Schumer and say the same goddamn thing. Say, we're not buying your fucking bullshit that, oh, you're voting against it. You facilitated this deal. What do you think? We're fucking stupid? Apparently you do. Apparently you do. More. Ezra Klein, he says, quote, if I were in the Senate, I wouldn't vote for this compromise. Shutdowns are an opportunity to make your arguments, and the country was just starting to pay attention. If Trump wanted to cancel flights over Thanksgiving rather than keep healthcare costs down, I don't see why Democrats should save him from making his priorities so exquisitely clear. And I worry that Democrats have just taught Trump they will fold under pressure. That's the kind of lesson he remembers. You dumb bitches. Fucking resign, Chuck Schumer. Fucking resign. You're done. Dick Durbin, dick. Fucking resign, dick. Are you kidding me? It's time for new leadership. I'm sorry. I know Chris Van Hollen, it seems like he wants to run for president, but you'd be a much better leader in the Senate. You should be the leader of the Democratic Party. If not fucking Chris Van Hollen, if he insists no, Chris Murphy, you can do it. Are you fucking kidding me with what we're witnessing here? Again, every voter and every person in the political pundit class, left of center, we all agree. We all agree. Most Democrats in the House are going, what the fuck was this? What was the point of the 40 days of fucking pain if you're going to have dick to show for it? You could have gotten this deal within a week, and then you wouldn't have fucking way more air traffic controllers who retired and all these people without getting a fucking paycheck and busting their ass anyway. Just the worst of all worlds is what we just witnessed. That's what it is. The worst of all worlds. Literally, why the fuck do you need another vote to confirm that Republicans want to cut Obamacare? They already voted for the cuts in their stupid mega bill. Exactly right. And finally, Gavin Newsom, for all of his flaws, he seems to understand where the energy is. He seems to recognize the moment. And he said this.
I worry now, though, that sounds like some of my colleagues and friends in the United States Senate, some of my Democratic colleagues just decided that we're playing by the old set of rules, not the new set of rules. It may have rolled over a little bit. So I love your question. It's the right question. I want to be part of that answer as an American citizen, not as a governor, as the ex-governor of California. But right now, we've got to hold the line because I think America will become unrecognizable in a year or two unless we fight back.
Call your senators and say, Dick Durbin's got to go. Chuck Schumer's got to go. We need new leadership. The base is not having it anymore. We are staring down the barrel of rank and open fascism, and you're just giving this man anything and everything he wants. That's what it is. That's what's happening. And so there is no defense of this. There's no defense of this. This is diet MAGA bullshit. And so guess what? What probably happened is Chuck Schumer got some calls from his donors, the donor class, right? Airline industry people or whoever who were like, you know what? This is actually really starting to hurt, so go ahead and wrap it up. And he fucking bent the knee. He bent the knee. So his bosses include his donors and Trump. I want Democrats who don't have bosses. Their bosses are the people. It's the Democratic base. It's the constituents. It's the voters. It's the people of this country. I want a Democrat who's going to say, my boss, it's every person who's going to have a healthcare premium, double, triple, and quadruple, and I'm going to fucking back them to the hilt. That's what I need a Democrat saying. Not, oh, what do the lobbyists say? What do the donors say? What does Donald Trump say? Oh, I'm afraid of a fight. Then get the fuck out of this field, bro. Get out. Resign in shame. Resign in disgrace. Like I said, call your senators. Tell them we need new leadership. Dick Durbin's got to go. Chuck Schumer's got to go. And all those 8 who just fucking stabbed us in the back, they got to fucking go. They need to know that we are not accepting this anymore. My whole fucking life, y'all. My whole life. This is what the Democratic Party has been. When the going gets tough, bend the knee. Curl into the fetal position and cry. That's my whole life. That's my whole life. Look, even under Obama, it was like, oh, I'd like to reach across the aisle and do bipartisanship and negotiation. And these are fucking demons. We are working with fucking demons. They are the devil. That's what they are. They literally actively want to cause you harm. The ICE Gestapo thugs are assaulting special needs people who are nonverbal autistic. They are assaulting people who are having seizures. They're sending innocents to concentration camps. This is what they're bombing fucking innocent fishermen in the Caribbean. They already kicked 15 million people off Medicaid. They are starving children right now. There is no fucking negotiating with this. There is no negotiating with this. There's only defeating it. And if you don't get that, you gotta go. Hey y'all, do me a favor and like and subscribe. It helps out big time in the algorithm. Click the bell as well for notifications when videos drop. And watch that video on screen right now. You know you want to.